Today, we welcome to Chicago Jewish Cafe Simcha Rothman, a member of Knesset from the Religious Zionist Party, the party headed by Bezalel Smotrich. He's one of the new Knesset members, but already has shown to be one of the most interesting and probably promising members there. One of his several degrees is in public law from Northwestern University here in Evanston. He is a founder of the movement to bring stability to Israel's legal system. He is a father of 5 children, and his wife hails from our own Skokie, Illinois. We invited Simcha, and he graciously agreed to stop by because of his November last year demand. That's why we invited him to alter the existing law of return. Simcha, welcome. Bruchim habayim.
ברוכים הנמצאים.
So why did you decide to alter the law of return?
Okay, so the law of return currently in Israel allows for Jews to come to Israel, which is very important, and never should anyone change it or limit it, in my point of view, and that's important. It's also have clauses that allow for children of Jews to come to Israel to make Aliyah, and also grandchildren of Jews, even though they're not Jews. Now, there also, when someone makes Aliyah, he can, of course,
grandchildren of Jews are not Jews?
There are grandchildren of Jews that are non-Jews.
That you, just one second, that you consider them not being Jewish, right?
No, even by their own declaration, they're not Jews. Just because they're grandchildren of Jews, they are eligible to come to Israel.
Is the person's declaration matters, or we're talking about some objective standard?
No, I'm saying that the law allows for grandchildren of Jews to come to Israel and make Aliyah, even if they're not Jews. They're not Jews, of course.
Even though Orthodox Jews don't consider.
No. But also, again, if someone, of course, the Orthodox Jews says that a person whose mother is not Jewish halachically, he needs to convert.
Then
if he wants to.
100 years has been halacha. Okay.
Yes, but if I know, even in Reform Judaism, if someone is a grandchildren of a Jew, but he does not declare himself as a Jew, you don't automatically put a Reform yarmulke on his head. If he doesn't want to be a Jew, he's not a Jew.
Are you now putting together Orthodox definition of Jew and Reform definition of Jew?
No.
In blank?
No. I'm not even talking about the difference between Reform Jews and Orthodox Jews. Even someone who is a Reformed Jew might have children or grandchildren that are not Jewish, even according to the Reformed Jewish
definition
view. It happens. But it can happen.
83 Reform. First of all, let me put it this way: Reform Jews in this particular area is not a standard by which anybody can go, because there's self-declaration is very important, and in the Soviet Union, Reform definition would not play a role. Let's go.
Of course.
Let's go by halacha. Let's go by Orthodox definition of who is a Jew. Let's talk about anybody else's definition. I mean, Christians also define themselves as Jewish, a better type of Jew, in New Testament. And Muslims, they are more faithful to Abraham than Jews, and no.
So
let's go.
So I'm not even talking about someone who is part of a Jewish community. I'm not talking about it, okay? I'm talking about people that if you stop them in the street and ask them, "Are you a Jew?" they would say no. They would say, "I'm not a Jew."
Interesting. I talked to the chief demographer, Jewish demographer at Hebrew University, and he told me that out of 14.5 million Jews in the world by halacha, 2 million don't consider themselves to be Jews.
Okay, but I'm talking about people that are not Jewish according to halacha.
Okay, so according to halacha, so we
and they don't declare themselves as Jews, okay? They're not declaring themselves as Jews, and they're not Jewish according to halacha.
They don't declare themselves as Jews because you do not see them as Jews.
No, I'm not talking about my view. Again, Alexander, I'm talking about go to people, some of the people, many of the people that come from the former Soviet Union to Israel. They're not Jews halachically, and even if you ask them, according to their own definition or declaration, whatever that may be, doesn't matter. I'm not judging here.
We cannot go by what people say about themselves because you're not going to be asking everyone, are you a Jew? You are not a Jew?
No, of course, when someone comes, Alexander, when someone comes to Israel, according to the law of return, you have to ask him if he's a Jew or if he's eligible in other way to come to Israel. Because otherwise you don't let him come to Israel. So I'm not walking around the streets of Israel and asking people, are you a Jew or not? I'm asking who comes to Israel through the law of return. When they come to Israel, they want to make aliyah, we ask them if they're Jewish, they have to prove that they're Jews, otherwise they're not eligible to come to Israel through the law of return, or they need to prove that they are children or grandchildren of Jews in order to come to Israel. I'm not talking about how do I look at people. I'm asking them on the
standard provided by the Orthodox, right?
It doesn't have to do anything with Orthodox Jews.
Why? You said they need to prove that they're children of Jews. So their mother, according to you, has
No, Alexander, please listen and understand.
Please, thank you.
Children of a Jew, even if his mother is not Jewish, is eligible to come to Israel through the law of return, although according to halacha is not Jewish. Okay? Grandchildren of a Jew is eligible to come to Israel even if he's 2 generations already not Jew halachically. So that's the case, that's the situation today. I'm not getting into the dispute between a Orthodox, Reform, or conservative.
Okay, that's the definition according to the law of return by the state of Israel.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. And the law of return by the state of Israel recognize people as Jews, even if I don't recognize them as Jews. It doesn't work 100% correlation between my definition or the halacha definition or the state of Israel definition. It has differences. And I'm not getting into the differences now. I'm trying to show the problem that according to the law of return, not only Jews can come to Israel, not only children of Jews can come to Israel, not only children of Jews can come to Israel, even grandchildren of Jews, even if they are not declaring themselves to be Jews, they're eligible to come to Israel. Now, if they're coming to Israel and they're coming, why, ask yourself, why are they coming to Israel? If it's not because they're Jews, either by their own definitions or by our definitions, why are they coming to Israel? And the answer is, when you talk about people from former Soviet Union, is usually financial or economical, or they think they will have better life here. So I really want the state of Israel to be the homeland of the Jewish people. By the way, soon I will have to go and vote in the plenum because we are during Knesset time. But so I would like very much for Israel to be the homeland of the Jewish people. If because of the grandchildren clause in the law of return, most of the people that come in certain years to Israel, according to the law of return, are non-Jews, and they are not even defined themselves as Jews. And that's a big problem in preventing Israel from becoming and staying the homeland of the Jewish people.
Really? That is the problem from
That is one. That is
Jewish people.
that is one. Alec,
Yes.
that is one of the problems. That's not the problem. That is one of the problems. And yes, when you focus the budgets and the efforts that Israel put into place to make Aliyah and to encourage Aliyah, and you put all this amount of money, time, and attention to people that are non-Jews and they don't want to be Jews and they don't want to become part of the Jewish people. So you're not putting this effort and money and attention to make people from Chicago to make Aliyah to Israel, and they are Jews according to their own definition and according to my definition. And if they will come to Israel, it will be good for, I hope, for them and for the state of Israel. And they're not coming because we are focusing a lot of our attention.
I understand that you know how to work. I understand that you know how to talk. And I understand that you're a busy man. I understand you need to go and vote. I have to say that my feeling is that there's something really, really rotten in the state of Denmark. State of Israel. Precisely on this point. On one hand, you say that you want this to be a Jewish state. On the other hand, you declare Jews by father to be non-Jews.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Because
no, I'm not.
Their grandchildren the right to migrate to Israel, to make Aliyah.
I am saying that if they're non-Jews,
but
they should.
They are Jews.
You say that they don't say they're Jews, but you say that they're Jews. Okay, so go and make them declare themselves as Jews. They don't declare themselves as Jews. They don't want to be Jews. They don't want to live as Jews, not according to any standard. But you say that they are Jews, so bring them to your own place. I don't understand. You want to decide for them that they're Jews?
My place as a Jew is the land of Israel, the land where you live now. And we're talking about a unique place for Jews. That is the land of Israel.
Okay, excellent. But they don't say that they're Jews, Alexander. They don't think about themselves as Jews. They're not Jews halachically, but they're also non-Jews according to their own declaration. And you want to tell them that they're Jews? I don't understand. You want to make them like there are certain parts of Christianity that they used to make people Christians against their will. Against the will, they make them, they baptize them after they're dead, and telling them they're Christians. You want to do the same about Judaism? I don't understand.
No, I don't. I want you to finally say that a child of a Jewish father is not an orphan, the way it is declared in Kedushin 68b, that he is a full 100% Jewish child. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah, but I don't accept your view. Sorry.
I understand, and that's the difference. Now you tell me that you're trying to build Jewish state. I say that you're trying to get rid of half of the Jews in the world.
No, I'm not.
So I guess the problem is going to continue, and we're going to be fighting, unfortunately, on different sides of the fence.
Again, I think you're talking about a situation that is not what we're talking about. Because if someone is a Jew that is part of a community in the U.S., a recognized community, and even if he's a child of a father who is Jewish halachically and not a mother, and he's part of a reform community or a conservative community in the U.S., Israel recognizes him as a Jew. As I told you, the declaration, the definition of my view of the halacha and the Jewish people is not the same as the definition of the law. But I'm not talking about the definition of the law. If you want to change my view of how the halacha is and what Judaism is, sorry, I'm not accepting your view and I don't agree with you, as you do not agree with me, and it's fine. It's okay.
What I want to say is that that person that will be admitted to Israel if he makes Aliyah, that is,
he will. He will.
A child of a Jewish father will be.
Yes.
But then,
even after I will change my law.
In document, he's going to be made to feel completely different than any Jew in Israel.
I don't understand what you're saying. A child of a Jew, even after I change the law, will be able to come to Israel.
Jewish mother will be able to.
A child of a Jewish father and not a Jewish mother can come to Israel.
Can come to Israel, make Aliyah, but in the internal document in Israel, he will not be marked as a Jew.
I don't know how he will be marked. Again, I don't recognize him as a Jew.
I understand.
My view is, in my view, that the person he needs to convert will happily have him convert. But he's not a Jewish halachically. That's my view. And I'm not going to change it. I'm sorry.
And do you appreciate that I take your position to be Hilul Hashem, a total blasphemy? Welcome to. Yes, I understand.
Okay.
It's not bothering.
I accept it. I know that that's your view, and I respect the fact that you have a different view from me. But you can't make me view it your way. What can you do? That's the part.
I cannot make you change your mind, because if you did change your mind, you'd fall out from the Religious Zionist Party, and you'd fall out from your religious community, and you'd fall out.
No, because I won't change my mind because I'm right, not because any political aspect of that. I won't change my mind because I think I'm right.
This is a very good thing because you are right, and I say that you are wrong. A person, a Jew who holds the positions that are inimical to Torah, inimical to halacha, I do not recognize as being right as a Jew. But in any case, we had this conversation. We understand that we cannot agree on this point, and that is a very important point. So
yes.
We agreed to disagree, and hopefully we'll meet another time.
And Alexander, I have to say one thing. I really hope, and I was asked that in different issue, on the issue of the Kotel, what the ways needs to be, the Kotel issue needs to be addressed. I say, I really hope that a lot of Jews from the US and from France and from all over, all diaspora Jews will come to Israel, and then we will have to face the fact that a big part of Israeli Jews does not agree with me. The situation in Israel today is that the majority of Israel, in huge numbers, is looking at halacha and on Judaism in the Orthodox way. Even the secular people in Israel, most of them are Orthodox secular. And they look at the situation and more similar to my way. And I hope that Israel will be the homeland of all the Jewish people, and we will have this conversation and debate of how the rules and the laws of the state of Israel need to affect that when we have a lot of Reformed Jews in Israel. You're all welcome, even we don't agree, and we'll have this debate in the Knesset, Bezrat Hashem.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have on your side 1,800 years of Jewish history, but I have on my side Torah and more than 3,000 years of Jewish history. So we'll continue, hopefully, this debate. And
for another 3,000 years.
yeah, and as they say in China, sei gesund.
Sei gesund.